And as I said last week, politics is the belief in the shadows on the walls of Plato's cave. Now, I want to say somebody made this meme on social media. I found it in someone's feed on Facebook. I do not know the actual creator of the meme, but I asked for someone to make it. A few people made different variations. This is the one I liked the most, so I figured I'd feature it this week. I apologize, I do not have the author's name. If you want to send an email to me who made this, I'll credit you on the show. But this is it. This is I said I should make a shirt of this, right? This would make a cool shirt. But guess what? 99.9% of the human population wouldn't understand it because they're unread, pretty much philosophically illiterate fools. And they don't even know what Plato's cave means. They don't even understand what that is. See, this is an allegory that the philosopher Plato was teaching people in ancient Greece. He was saying reality is like people who are living in a cave and shadows are being projected on the wall of the cave from a light source and puppet figures that are behind a wall behind them by other people who are like puppet masters. And they're making these projections on the wall and people are sitting there watching the projections. This was like an early video camera, actually a video projector, I should say. Plato was envisioning the modern video projector, actually, working like an overhead projector. And he was saying they believe that the shadows are the real things. And if you tell them that they're not real and they're just illusions, a trick of light and shadow, they'll get angry at you and want to kill you for trying to dissuade them from the belief in their illusion as reality. They don't want to come out of that illusion. They want to believe it. You tell them, hey, you're in a cave that you've never left. And all of this is fake. All of this is just designed to keep you there looking at the movie, looking at the show. They'll want to kill you for saying there's an outside. Hey, I could take you through the tunnel to the mouth of the cave and show you the outside world and show you that all of this is illusion. And you know what they'll say? They won't thank you. They'll say, I'm going to kill you now. That's how tightly they are totally psychologically intertwined with the illusion. The illusion is their identity. It's their very identity. This is what it means to come out of mind control, ladies and gentlemen. This is what it means to realize that politics is an illusion and a cult. I'm sick of hearing from people who are involved in the illusion and are members of the cult, brainwashed members of the cult, that I'm telling them something that isn't true, that they're in a cult. You're not going to dictate my worldview and reality. I've said this a million times now since I've come back from hiatus, and I'm going to say it a million more. You aren't going to dictate my worldview. You're not going to tell me what I know. And guess what? You are wrong. I'm not going to dictate your worldview either, but I'm not going to acknowledge that you are correct because you are not. You are wrong. And you are the one who needs to do work to come out of the illusion. I have it clearly figured out. I have it clearly understood and correctly understood. You do not. And guess what? This is what people have to start saying to people. There is an objective truth regarding it. There is an objective truth regarding what is moral and what is not moral. There is an objective truth regarding whether politics is true or an illusion. There is an objective truth regarding whether government is slavery or not. There is an objective truth regarding whether police have the right to even morally exist as an institution or not. It is not a matter of opinion. None of this is my opinion. I am presenting objective moral truths here on what on earth is happening. I am not stating my opinion about any of it. I'll tell you when it's my opinion. When I like one type of blender more than another to process my food and make smoothies in the morning, that's an opinion. If I like one computer platform over another, that's an opinion. When it comes to what actions are harmful and initiate harm to another sentient being, it's not an opinion. It's objective in nature, in point of fact, natural reality. The same is concerned when it comes to the morality of whether police have the right to exist or not, whether government has the right to exist or not. It's not a matter of opinion. This is what solipsism tells people is perfectly fine to believe. Oh, it's all a matter of opinion and perception. No, that's solipsistic bullshit, and it's a religion. And if you believe it, you're a member of a cult. The whole idea of where this virus came from, what its nature is, what its infectivity is, whether masks help. It's not a matter of opinion. There's a truth regarding it. And most people have it all ass backwards and don't know anything about what they're talking about. And you're not going to dictate your worldview or tell me that what you consider science is the arbiter of truth, because you're missing huge puzzle pieces and huge swaths of information that you don't have gathered, you don't have processed and understood, and you're certainly not acting upon. It is you who are ignorant, not me. I've done that homework, and I know what the truth regarding it is, and you do not. And you will not dictate my worldview or tell me what I must accept as true. You're not the fucking arbiter of truth, and neither is the science you worship. And guess what? People want to keep pressing with that, it's going to become physical. And you'll find out what'll happen. And I think that's what everybody's attitude should be. Everybody's attitude should say, you're not going to dictate a fucking worldview to me, or there'll be physical consequences. You want to play those games? Watch what happens. And I'm telling you, this is where our society is headed, folks, and it's not going to be pretty, and it's because people haven't done their own study and homework regarding true philosophy, and they haven't done any internal work upon themselves. And most of all, once doing those things, they're cowards. They're chicken shit cowards, and they haven't taught it publicly without fear. They just said, oh, it's great that I know this. Screw everybody else. I'm not teaching it to other people. Let somebody else do that. You're one of the sources of the problem. Not just the ignorance of other people, your cowardice and not teaching it to other people. If you feel you have a handle on it, not teaching it to others is doing as much damage as the people who believe all the nonsense and all the cult beliefs that are out there. You're doing just as much damage to society. Get as offended as you like. I really couldn't give a damn. I'm here not to not offend anybody. I'm here to tell you the harsh truth about what's going on in this reality so that it can be solved. And once again, one of the things I do here is I present the philosophy that needs to be understood from a perspective of first principles. First principles have to come first. People have suggested pragmatic approaches to the protection of a society. That comes secondary. We can talk about all of that. That's a great thing. You should put that out there to other people. So you say, hey, there's other ways of dealing with this pragmatically. But you know what? You do that second. You got to understand the philosophy of why doing it the way we are doing it now is immoral first. Then you could jump to the pragmatic and say, how can we address these issues from a pragmatic 3D perspective? And maybe we could do that next week. Maybe we could do a whole call-in show where we talk about what's a pragmatic approach to solving these issues. First of all, the main pragmatic approach to solving it is what I talked about last week, proper moral education. Nobody wants to hear that that's the solution. Forget about implementing all kinds of control measures in your neighborhood first. How about trying to teach people proper morality? How about setting up natural law seminars in your local area? You know, in a local community center and teaching people true natural law principles. There's a pragmatic approach. How many are doing that? You know how many are doing that? That's how many. That's just an exact figure. I calculated that for a long time. I ran that through a lot of computer simulations and transmutations before I got that result. But that's an exact figure right there. That's how many people, ratio-wise of population, are actually teaching people true morality. It's a joke. It's a joke, and our masters are laughing at us with a big fat fucking belly laugh at the joke that we are. And nobody wants to hear that. They want to say, oh, Mark, you're so negative. No, I know the exact dynamic that's taking place of how many people really understand the causal factors. And it's a piss in a pot. Okay? It's less than that. And that's why people say, what do you really think's happening? Are we winning or are people waking up? They're waking up on a very cursory level because of the control. Do they understand the causal factors yet? Not a goddamn bit. Do they understand the solutions? Not a goddamn bit. Even the people who say they understand the causal factors, when you tell them what the solutions are, they don't want to hear that the solutions are taking personal responsibility. They don't want to hear that the solutions are educating people morally, one-on-one, and on a wide scale, in their community and then widely on the internet. They don't want to do that. They want to hear a patchwork solution. Oh, we're going to put this kind of force in place to try to protect our neighborhoods. No, that's not ultimately the solution. The solution is proper moral education, and you have to get involved in that work. No, the people out there, they don't want to do that, because that's your time. That's your investment of resources. That's your blood, sweat, and tears. No, you just want an easy patchwork solution rattled off to you in 5 seconds. You don't want to hear the hard work. You're the joke. You're the joke. Not what I'm doing. I'm presenting real solutions and have since day one. This whole podcast is a solution, is the solution. If you're too hard-headed and fucking ego-driven to recognize that, that's not my fault or problem, asshole. Okay? And I'm just going to say it to you like that. You don't know what you're fucking talking about. I do. All right? Just like that. You want to butt egos? Let's butt egos and let's see who wins. Okay?